Hey there guys, and welcome back to another speedrun series. In this edition we'll create the perfect free-to-play PKing account in the quickest amount of time ever showcased in a recording. I'll display each and every niche method we'll use to achieve the fastest and most macro-efficient experience possible. And finally, this account will come into fruition within less than a single day. As this account takes its first steps on Tutorial Island, the speedrun is already underway, and there are a few minor skips that can be done to save marginal time during the tutorial, such as cooking your shrimp on another person's fire and dealing 1 damage to the giant rat after your ult is logged off to obtain the kill credit. Apart from this, the rest of the tutorial is self-explanatory and can be further sped up by learning the dialogues of each and every encounter. From here on, we traded over a bond, some starting supplies, and set our standard F keys. We then travelled to the Wizard's Tower using the Necklace of Passage to quickly finish the quest Imp Catcher, which let us immediately start using the enchantment spells through the use of a magic potion. Using our game's necklace, we teleported up to Barbarian Assault to swiftly trade over some bolt enchant supplies that we'll use during the completion of Dwarf Cannon to get ourselves some starting magic levels. The Dwarf Cannon is one of the most integral quests we'll need to get done during the speedrun, as we'll be using it as a form of zero-time range experience to essentially skip early levels entirely. And as you can see, the art of doing everything including training and questing simultaneously is the key to success of the speedrun. We'll waste absolutely no time running between quest steps, as we'll be constantly gaining magic and range experience along the way. Seeing that we're in the area, it'd be smart to knock out the Waterfall quest in tandem with the Dwarf Cannon. As I've mentioned many times before, to save time, you do everything simultaneously. Thankfully, there are many circumstances during questing where we're running long distances, and luckily the enchantment interface isn't intrusive enough during actions such as running, which leads to a large amount of wasted experience if you weren't to do what I'm doing. We've also had a word to Alcoy outside the maze to start the Treeno Village quest ever so seamlessly. We'll then head back up to the surface and quickly speak to King Borland to get the escort option on Alcoy, and which we'll need in the future. To gather both the Glariel's Urn and Pendant, I'll simply use a brew to heal over 10 hit points to remove the risk of getting one hit by the Moss Giants, which evidently have a max hit of 12. And as you can see, I did actually forget the second brew needed for Fire Giants, though luckily I got chanced but got away with my life, completing the quest at a record pace. Moving on to the fight arena, carefully considered as we don't want to actually go over level 40 attack, and we'll also continue to enchant our bolts as we run between our quest steps. During the boss fight, I used the highest bolt spell I could use at my current magic level, passively gained while I quested, though it can be sped up by placing the cannon outside the fight arena as it can't be set up inside. A quick run to the west and we can get on with Treeno Village. As we've already unlocked Alcoy and started the quest, we can grab the coordinates and get straight into the fortress. Also, some may not know that recently Jagex has updated the commanders, as they used to stack you out during the cutscene, meaning that we won't need an ult to kill these anymore. In fact, you don't even need to engage in any combat at all, meaning we can swiftly head over past the walls to the Khazad Warlord, where we have one of our trusted limited CC members, Adam, ready and waiting to body block the boss fight. Now, completing Treeno Village also grants us exactly 40 attack, leaving the attack segment of the speedrun complete. The way I've ordered this run in terms of quests is to ultimately increase XP per hour passively during questing, and we've achieved this by firstly completing 40 attack for the increase in bonuses, as the DPS on the cannon is calculated significantly through your highest attack bonus, in this case, Slash. With our cannon set up within the central hub of Falador, we can freely complete all the surrounding quests with passive range and mage XP while outside of any form of stall or dialogue. Now, most, if not all, of the following quests aren't actually required, but I thought it would be interesting to showcase how much you can theoretically achieve without losing too much time questing while passively training range. And briefly, I'd like to mention that by using the goblin males on the generals, you can entirely skip their dialogue, meaning that your cannon is still firing and in rotation. Now we're going to kick it up a notch, meaning even more frequent simultaneous action between range and mage, and in this case we'll knock out the 10 cooking requirement for the RFD subquest, unlocking the basement bank chest. And shortly after a refill of cannonballs, we'll easily be able to knock out both the cook's assistant and the RFD subquest while simultaneously gaining XP between the dialogue. While we're in the area, we'll also complete both the Black Knight's Fortress and the Knight's Sword in tandem with one another. And I'd also like to reiterate the fact that we're not actually losing any precious time during the speedrun, as we're still technically gaining experience. A quick intervention from the future Mauler. If you like this kind of content and would like to see more, simply drop me a subscription and the collective effort from you guys will be showcased within the analytics, so do me a favour, help a Kiwi out, and subscribe. Now with that out of the way, we'll move on to the Knight's Sword, a quick and easy quest based around the hub of Falador. During the quest, I also noticed that there'd been an interface added to Thurgo that I haven't actually seen before, adding a few extra seconds towards the quest completion. And apart from that, since we won't need any extra Blu-ray ore to complete the Falador diary on this account, we'll only bother with retrieving a single piece. And with all that out of the way, we move on to the final necessary segment of questing, Shadow of the Storm. Before we get underway, we must first achieve the requirements, and I thought why not simply complete a handful of quests granting the appropriate experience. Ardoon has 3 quests that grant thieving experience, Haziel Cult, Plague City, and Tribal Totem, meaning that it's time we change our city hub. And what I mean by this is shifting our cannon from Falador to Ardi, as after we complete Plague City, we'll have a teleport directly into the city centre. Now that our cannon is set and firing and our teleport is unlocked, we'll knock out Biohazard, granting 1250 thieving experience. Once we've retrieved the distillator, you can now talk to Eleanor to get the plague sample, and what some don't know is that with the Profiterness expansion you can now actually teleport with the samples, making the quest just a little faster. With Biohazard out of the way and 21 thieving achieved, we can move on to Tribal Totem, which is still technically based within the same area through the implementation of Barnaby on the docks of Ardi. To say the least, all of these quests are in close enough proximity of each other to warrant them at least efficient enough to do for the 10k strength XP we'll be receiving from completing Shadow of the Storm. This segment of the speedrun is my absolute favourite part of the video, as it truly encapsulates the definition of a speedrun, little time saves all jammed up into one group of actions, resulting in a multitude of achievements all in one. And in this particular instance, that would be getting 23 to 25 thieving while fitting in a cannon rotation and 3 enchantments per thief. Now that we have the base requirements, I thought it would be a good idea to get a little HP under our belt, as after all this account is built to be a PKer at the end of the day. Now it's finally time to knock out the Demon Saga, the final quest segment of the video. And to kick things off, I'd recommend bringing a Necklace of Passage to help with transport to the Wizard's Tower for the final key. Also, when it comes to Agrithnar, you don't actually have to kill the surrounding wizards, so to speed things up, we'll leave and enter the instance until we initially grab the aggression of the demon, saving some extra time on the clock. As we head into both Shadow of the Storm and the Golem, we're going to need 30 crafting, and to do so I thought why not try our luck at the Observatory quest. As there is a 1 in 12 chance of a complete waste of time, I deemed it worthy enough to complete while keeping our cannon in rotation. Shortly after the completion of Observatory quest, I crafted limestone into bricks, as you can cut them between ticks, gaining XP extremely fast. I continued this method all the way up to the level where we could cut sapphires, all while gaining the most optimal range XP simultaneously. The Golem is more or less self-explanatory, a nice and easy quest sped up by the use of the Necklace of Passage. And as I like to throw in little tidbits for those who like collectibles, the statues can be collected by dropping them on the lower floor of the museum, then going back upstairs and getting another statue. And finally, as for Shadow of the Storm, this can be easily cleared granted you have a little HP, given to us through the completion of the Witch's House. With all the questing out of the way, we're left with nothing but time to develop our stats here at the Caged Ogres. And with the Make 10 option on the enchantment, the cannon can freely rotate without any intrusion. Also, if you're confused about the gear we've got on, the cannon's accuracy is calculated through your highest attack bonus, disregarding your attack style. And the difference between the Mithril or Addy crossbow to the Rune 2H is regarded insignificant. Furthermore, this gave us a little time to actually calculate the optimal stats and max hits of a low-level free-to-play PKing account. I then came up with a multitude of mixed results, which led me to the conclusion that it would be a better idea to simply log off the account to save the current playtime and leave the final stats up to you guys. I want all of you who are interested to leave a comment down below on what stats you'd like to see, and I'll pick the most visually appealing from the comments section below. I will then resume the speedrun and showcase the authenticity of a simple free-to-play PKing account within PvP. I feel that this way everyone can get involved with the video, and I'd like for my future videos to involve more of you guys, the viewers that make the episodes a reality. So make sure you do get involved and leave a comment. Also, make sure to leave your feedback on whether or not you'd like to see both a cut and uncut version of the future speedrun videos. I'd also be inclined to upload the raw footage to a separate channel to not clutter your inboxes with the same content, so let me know what you think about that. And without dragging on anything longer than it should be, I thank you all for watching the video, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription to the channel, and finally, take it easy and have a wonderful day.